King's Dominion's first ever hybrid coaster. Buy your tickets today and save online at kingsdominion.com.
Tonight, several developing stories as we come on the air. President Trump and his new and unprecedented threat tonight. The White House now saying he might revoke security clearances for some former directors of national intelligence, the CIA, and the FBI. They happen to be his most vocal critics. The White House has asked late today if former President Obama and Vice President Biden could be next. Breaking news tonight just moments ago, the suspect now revealed in the shooting rampage in Toronto. As the death toll grows today, including a 10-year-old girl. We're on the scene tonight. Up and down the East Coast at this hour, the flash flood watches. The National Weather Service warning of possible life-threatening floods from the Carolinas all the way up to New York. Rain several days straight. The urgent search for a missing college student at this hour. She vanished while jogging, and what her boyfriend is now saying tonight. The victims from Las Vegas speaking out this evening after News MGM, the owner of the Mandalay Bay Hotel, is now suing more than 1,000 victims and their families. And the images that had many talking today, the demolition accident, the building suddenly collapsing in a cloud of dust. The mayor tonight saying, quote, something went terribly wrong.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on this Monday night. And we have several stories we're following just as we come on the air tonight. We're going to begin with the president and that unprecedented warning shot, that threat to strip security clearances from several former high-ranking officials in the CIA, the FBI, and U.S. intelligence. Among them, former CIA Director John Brennan, former FBI Director James Comey, and 4 former top national security and intelligence officials. Sarah Sanders today reading from a carefully scripted statement. Our Terry Moran then asking the White House, is the president threatening to punish these figures because they have been critical of the president? And what the White House then said when asked if former President Obama and Vice President Joe Biden could be next. ABC's Terry Moran leading us off from the White House.
An unprecedented threat from the White House podium. Press Secretary Sarah Sanders reading from a prepared statement announcing that President Trump was preparing to strip security clearances from some of the fiercest critics of his approach to Russia.
The fact that people with security clearances are making these baseless charges provides inappropriate legitimacy to accusations with zero evidence.
Sanders mentioned 6 high-ranking former national security officials, including former FBI Director James Comey, former Obama National Security Advisor Susan Rice, and former CIA Chief John Brennan, who blasted Trump's press conference with Vladimir Putin.
I use the term that this is nothing short of treasonous because it is a betrayal of the nation. He is giving aid and comfort to the enemy, and it needs to stop.
Brennan has even seemed to hint darkly that he knows secrets harmful to Trump, tweeting in March, when the full extent of your venality, moral turpitude, and political corruption becomes known, you will take your rightful place as a disgraced demagogue in the dustbin of history. All this enrages Trump.
The president is threatening to punish Brennan and Comey and Clapper for saying things about him that he doesn't like. Is that presidential?
They've politicized and in some cases actually monetized their public service and their security clearances, and making baseless accusations of improper contact with Russia or being influenced by Russia against the president is extremely inappropriate.
So
when we have further updates on that front, I'll certainly
their
let
free
you know.
speech he doesn't like, and he wants to punish them for it.
No, I think you are creating your own story there. The president doesn't like the fact that people are politicizing agencies and departments that are specifically meant to not be political.
2 of the people on the president's list, Comey and his former deputy Andrew McCabe, already lost their clearances a while ago. Sanders was then asked, who's next?
What about President Obama and Vice President Biden and their security clearances? Are they on the list as well?
I'm not aware of any plans for that at this point.
The president's move today comes as he's under fire for repeatedly questioning the intelligence community's conclusion that Russia attacked the 2016 election. Last week, under pressure, he tried to change course.
I accept our intelligence community's conclusion that Russia's meddling in the 2016 election took place.
But then, once again, he seemed to dismiss the idea of a Russian attack as a hoax, tweeting over the weekend. So President Obama knew about Russia before the election. Why didn't he do something about it? Why didn't he tell our campaign? Because it is all a big hoax. Sanders doing more cleanup today, insisting the president believes that Russia interfered in 2016. She says the hoax is the allegation that Trump conspired with the Kremlin.
Just part of what we were following from the White House today. Terry Moran live at the White House. And Terry, we're also following the growing tension between the U.S. and Iran. As you know, President Trump tore up the nuclear agreement some time back. But over the weekend, we witnessed strong words from Iran's moderate President Hassan Rouhani, warning the U.S. that peace with Iran is the mother of all peace and war with Iran is the mother of all wars. But Terry, as you've been reporting all day, that provoked an angry response from President Trump.
It did, David. An angry response in all caps. The president tweeting at President Rouhani, never, ever threaten the United States again, or you will suffer consequences the likes of which few throughout history have ever suffered before. Be cautious. And then today, the foreign minister of Iran trolling President Trump, responding in all caps, color me unimpressed. But even more important than that, he called the president's words bluster and referred to the way the president talked about North Korea challenging President Trump's credibility on this issue. David?
Terry Moran on a Monday night. Terry, thank you. We're also following new developments coming in just moments ago after that deadly mass shooting in Toronto. The death toll growing tonight, and just a short time ago, the identity of the suspect was revealed. Faisal Hussein, 29, of Toronto. It all began in a popular neighborhood, shattered by gunfire. 2 people killed, including a 10-year-old girl. Police arriving, exchanging gunfire with the suspect. He was found dead nearby. And tonight, are they closer to a possible motive? They are not ruling out terror. ABC's Gio Benitez from the scene.
Tonight, investigators are desperately searching for a motive behind the shooting of more than a dozen people, shattering a quiet Sunday night in Toronto.
There's multiple victims, and the suspect that's fleeing looks like possibly still shooting.
The shots broke out at around 10 p.m. in a section of Toronto known for its nightlife. Victims seen laying on the street, witnesses in shock as paramedics rushed to save the wounded.
One woman ran and she fell, and he went over her and shot her twice.
As a result, 2 people have succumbed to the injuries. One is an 18-year-old female and another is a 10-year-old girl.
That 18-year-old Reese Fallon, a political volunteer who lived in Toronto. 13 other victims, ranging from 10 to 59 years old, being treated in local hospitals, some seriously injured. The shooter fleeing on foot, found dead just blocks from where the shootings took place. Authorities now say the suspect was 29-year-old Faisal Hussein from Toronto.
We're looking for anyone that saw anything.
Toronto's City Council today holding an emotional moment of silence as authorities search for answers.
This is an attack against innocent families and against our entire city. Why does anyone in this city need to have a gun at all?
The mayor of Toronto there, Gio, joined us live from the scene in Toronto tonight. And Gio, officials not ruling out terror, as I mentioned a moment ago. And I understand you just got a statement from the family of the alleged shooter.
Yeah, that's right, David. The shooting happened right behind me here, just along this street. Now, for the first time, as you say, we are hearing from the suspect's family. They say that the shooter suffered from severe mental health issues. David?
Gio Benitez in Toronto for us. Gio, thank you. Next tonight, the real concern up and down the East Coast this evening and over the next couple of days over the potential for, quote, life-threatening floods from the rains. The flash flood watch tonight already for 35 million Americans. Rain stalled along the already waterlogged East Coast. A super soaker with damaging winds in Gainesville, Florida, and a tough morning commute in parts of Pennsylvania. This street turned into a river there. And in the West tonight, we're also following the heat and the fires. More than 3,000 homes and businesses now listed as threatened by that fire burning near Yosemite. So let's get to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Zee. She's live tonight near the George Washington Bridge here in New York. Ginger, good evening.
David, the National Weather Service is using that heavy wording of the potential for life-threatening flooding because there are spots in Virginia that got more than 9 inches of rain over the weekend, and you're about to get another up to half foot. Let me take you right to the maps where you see all that abundant moisture pouring onto the East Coast, really from North Carolina to western New York. There are a couple of the stationary front, that low that's coming up, and those flash flood watches in place. Asheboro, North Carolina had a storm bring 1.3 inches in just 30 minutes today, and you could see another up to 5. Let's talk about repetitive forecasts on the West Coast, where it's getting even hotter. Waco, Texas, for example, tied their all-time record at 112 today, and we're going for the rest of the week. David?
You've already been warning about the heat, and it only gets worse tonight. Ginger, thank you. We move on to other news, and we were on the scene today of that horrific duck boat accident in Branson, Missouri, just as they lifted the boat out of the water. And one of the things they revealed, the life jackets right there on the shelf in the boat. This question, of course, did the captain ever tell passengers to put them on as this disaster was beginning to unfold. ABC's Marcus Moore in Branson again tonight.
That doomed boat back on the surface tonight, the Coast Guard raising it from the bottom of the lake. It sank in a violent storm Thursday, the boat battling winds above 60 miles per hour and 6-foot swells, 17 dying in that terrifying disaster.
Those crews lifting the boat from the water, and you can see the line of life jackets there hanging from the top canopy.
Survivor Tia Coleman believes those life vests could have saved some of her 9 family members, including 3 young children. This photo taken just before the tragedy.
I felt like if I was able to get a life jacket, I could have saved my babies.
But she says the captain told passengers they wouldn't need the vests. Regulations require life jackets or PFDs to be on board, but
the decision to don those PFDs is made as an operational decision for the captain on board.
Investigators recovering the boat's data recorder, which may provide clues to how the crew responded and answers for grieving families.
Since I've had a home, it's always been filled. It's always been filled with little feet and laughter. And my husband, I don't know, I'm gonna do it.
Marcus joins us tonight from Branson. And Marcus, the captain of the boat, has been interviewed by investigators, and I'm sure they're looking for answers now about why passengers weren't wearing the life jackets. Were they in fact told to wear them?
Yeah, that's right. That is the question, one of the many that investigators are looking into, that allegation that the captain did not tell passengers to put on life jackets. And David, along with whether any precautions were taken ahead of that violent storm. David.
All right, Marcus, thank you. We followed the tearful press conference today. Survivors of the Las Vegas massacre now speaking out after they're now being sued by the owner of the Mandalay Bay Hotel. MGM, the company that owns the hotel, suing the victims and the families of the deceased. MGM says they're not looking for money, but they want to sue to keep them from suing. Here's ABC's Will Carr.
Tonight, survivors of the Las Vegas massacre, the worst mass shooting in U.S. history, calling MGM's lawsuit outrageous.
You know, it's like being kicked again to the ground.
I've already lost my son, and now they want to sue me.
MGM filing suit against more than 1,000 victims and family members, including Jason McMillan, a sheriff's deputy, now a paraplegic, who says the move is bringing back the worst night of his life.
I couldn't help anybody.
MGM owns Mandalay Bay, where Stephen Paddock carried out his deadly rampage, killing 58. The hotel attempting to use an obscure post-9/11 law for acts of terror that could shield them. In a statement, MGM saying, "We're not asking for money or attorney's fees, but they are seeking a preemptive ruling to not be held liable against people who may sue." Victims vowing to fight back against this new legal attack.
Hearing that I'm now being sued, it's not only insulting, it enrages me.
David, an attorney for the victims, says suing the men and women who were either shot or lost loved ones is about as un-American as it gets. David.
Will, thank you. Next tonight, hear the investigation into that deadly shootout that ended at a Los Angeles Trader Joe's. Police are now searching for video and for witnesses tonight. The supermarket was the final scene of a rampage that began as a family dispute. A suspect taking hostages, trading gunshots with police, people escaping, running for their lives. We watched as some of them climbed from windows. 28-year-old Gene Atkins turned himself in after 3 hours, but the store manager had already been killed in all of it. From Texas tonight, there is new surveillance just released this evening in the search for the killer of a well-known doctor in Houston who used to treat former President George H.W. Bush. Police now releasing a sketch of the suspect. And here's ABC's Clayton Sandell tonight.
Tonight, an urgent search for clues. Houston police say they're poring over hundreds of hours of surveillance video, hunting for any leads in the mysterious murder of a prominent cardiologist. These grainy images show Dr. Mark Hausknecht in green, riding his bike to work just before 9 a.m. Friday morning. Broad daylight, a busy intersection. The suspect in red, riding just behind.
The suspect drove past the doctor, turned and fired 2 shots. The doctor immediately went down.
Moments later, the gunman flees on a mountain bike. Police releasing this sketch, the suspect described as a white or Hispanic man in his 30s.
I just would not associate this place with any sort of crime, forget such a heinous crime.
Hausknecht was 65. His patients included the former president, George H.W. Bush, who said, "I will always be grateful for his exceptional, compassionate care."
And